Now I hope everybody can hear me. Now we're live. I'm looking at all of it, so I apologize for the last video. I thought everything was working. I am live if you can hear me. So now y'all can come on back online, or hopefully. Hopefully I didn't run anybody off. It was a software it was a software glitch. I had to get it updated. I thought it automatically updated, but apparently software don't automatically update. You have to physically update it. It's not like World of Warcraft or anything like that where it automatically updates and whatnot. So now that hopefully you can hear me, let me know if you can't. Type it into the chat and I'll work on getting it fixed this time. So I'll stay on here for a little bit. Last one I did not know the voice wasn't working. It showed something. It showed my bars and everything was working correctly, but apparently the software did not update, complete updating. So it may have paused the voiceover. I do know when we're doing it over on World of Warcraft, it does that every now and then, and it pisses everybody off because they didn't let us know in advance. So now that I'm back online correctly, let me know what you want to chat about. We'll chat away. In the meantime, while everybody's getting online, I'm gonna walk over here and give me another glass of water. Hold on, White Monster. I'm gonna go get me a glass of water. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get me a glass of water. Hopefully, you guys can hear me this time. It was a software glitch, or it was an update. It's what it is. And I did not know. I thought my voice was going all the way through, and everybody was pop up online, but they would leave. So I apologize for that. I didn't even sit down there at the bottom. So if you can't hear me, let me know. What's my favorite Christmas movie? Oh God. Oh, there's a lot of them. Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Um, there's a lot of them. Cary Grant and in that Christmas movie. That's one of them. And oh, I don't know. I know I'm 55, so I have to think about a bunch of them. All the Santa Claus's movies, the animated ones back in the '60s. Home Alone. Home Alone. Yeah, that's a hilarious movie. Excited to see what happens in the performing parks. Yeah, I agree. They from what I was understanding on the underperforming parks, they want to get them started first and foremost. I just threw in a bunch of the parks that I thought that were underperforming. Not that it, we don't love Frontier City or anything like that or the other parks. It's just there's nothing there. They haven't added anything to these parks, so who knows? Hopefully they'll start putting the right rides, correct rides in these parks. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it again. Richard Zimmerman reminds me of what Gary Story did back in the '90s and the early 2000s. Put the correct rides in the correct parks that needed the most, that knew that would fit perfectly for those parks. The Tomahawk, remember, was it 1998? That's when Six Flags changed its name, and then the Hangman came online, and then what was it? Bunch of rides, smaller rides really. And then of course we got 2003, which is back then it was expensive when Six Flags, the original Six Flags, purchased it for almost $6 million for the park's 35th anniversary. But you're talking about 2003, and that was just before Gary Story uh, had left the company. And then, of course, everybody knows about the Coaster Wars, which he didn't really get involved in it. It was Karen Burke that got involved in that. I think someone said his last coaster that he purchased for a park was King Ka. So, what's the height limit for Hurricane Harbor? I have no clue what the height limit is. I have not. I don't ever pay attention because I'm always in the kids area with my grandkids, so I can't really answer that one. I'm sure it's probably 48 inches. Michigan Adventure needs a new ride, especially in 2026 for its 70th anniversary. See, that's what I'm confused on. Um, excuse me. Um, the company Six Flags forgot all about Frontier City's 65th anniversary, but yet when Great Adventure came on and they hit their 50th anniversary, look what they got: a resort. I don't see hardly anybody going to that resort unless it's summertime. And then they got what become a giant inverted boomerang from the Vekoma. I just can't get that. I cannot understand that. Can a water slide like Devil's Peak water slide come to Hurricane Harbor? You got to remember, Hurricane Harbor is only 25 acres, so that would be. I would much rather see a tornado. Slide. I mean, it would match perfectly for Oklahoma. I mean, that's what everybody calls this is Tornado Alley. So, who knows? I don't know if it'll fit. I mean, because they had to remove a lot of stuff just to get uh, the Racing Mac slide in there. Frontier City would be perfect. Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be a triple. That's my guess. That's what it looks like. From the golf course. I thought they removed the golf course. They may not have, but I think they're going to move Whitewater. Waterworks over to Hurricane Harbor and announce that as a new slide complex. Oh man, let's see. As for that SNS combo tower, I think it's going to be the triple. I think they're going to try and do. They can do 250 feet, unless they're going to go 300 feet. But I think they're going to go. I think they're going to try and go 200 feet with it. Because remember, eruption, the three poles were 250 feet. So that means when you were launched, when I wrote it, you went above those poles, and that was, man, that kind of shocked me when I first wrote it, and I went up there and that the seats tilted. Of course, that's when that was just before they locked them to where they don't tilt. But when they went up there, I thought, oh my God, this thing here goes above the poles. So you're going, instead of 200 feet, 250 feet, you were going, I don't know, 275 feet. Smaller parks definitely deserve some. Yeah, all the smaller parks. I mean, look, I don't know what you mean by smaller parks. Maybe the smaller populated parks need more TLC than anything else. Have you seen those water slides that has a drop trap? Yes, I have. I think one of them's in Arlington, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not in Arlington, it's at Fiesta, Texas. You don't have to do a whole lot to the water parks. You don't have to add a whole lot to them. Those get packed during the summertime. Let's see. What else? I'm not sure what they're going to put in those other parks. I know they're going to have to work on a couple of those rides, similar to what they're doing to Darien Lake, Titan Track. Let's see. They can use a they can use it for Mega Wedgie. I've only rode Mega Wedgie once. I'm not really too much on water parks anymore, because when I was a teenager back in the '80s, that's all. If we didn't live at the theme park, we were over at the water park a lot. So it kind of burnt me out. So I stuck with all the theme parks instead. But the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, they painted it. I know that, but Six Flags did not paint it. I think it was who was that? Park F7 or whoever, whatever company that was that first when the parks were being sold off back then. Uh, I can't think of that name of that company. They're the ones that came in and repainted the slides. They were badly deteriorating. On the paint, that is, they're fading out. You could, because when we went, it was bad. So they went in and they spent the money to paint them up, and uh, 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 went over to Frontier City, and then they installed Quick Draw. 06 or '07. I can't remember what year it was. They were wanting something bigger, but they didn't want to. I guess they didn't have enough funding to do whatever they wanted to do to bring the park back up. They started to do some, but then they didn't. Then it got sold off again. So I didn't really keep much up with it, because the park was packed a lot after Six Flags sold it in that big bunch of, what was it, 5 parks. No data stream. I hope you guys can still hear me. I can see my bars moving finally on my mic, so we're good to go on that. Um, Chat away. Y'all come on, chat away. I got everything up and running now. I know it's a little later than what I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. Whitewater Slide was there before Wahoo Racers came. Yeah. refresh it. I gotta refresh this. I don't know what my views. Right. I had a lot of people coming online, but I don't know what's going on now. Hang on, I gotta get this. I can't see any chats. Here it is. I have no idea what happened. Let's see. Printer City needs an SS free. I believe that's what they're working on getting. Because you got to remember when they want to purchase a ride, it usually takes what is a year or so, year or more to design the ride to make it fit into whatever spot it needs to go in. Then it takes probably another year or so to build it. Then they get to deliver it. So you're talking about 2, maybe 3 years. So this has probably been in the works for probably 2 years at least. As for an Axis coaster, I would love for them to get one, but I'm not sure if they're going to get it this year. Like I said in that video, it was it was something that I just threw in there just to get everybody pumped up. I mean, I don't know if they're going to get the Axis coaster or not. I mean, who knows? If Six Flags gives them enough capex, then I'm sure that they'll take it, and from the Q&A with the park, that they want to put a $15 million coaster in there. That's everybody wants that. We all know that. It'll have to go over in the boneyard, or the 60 acres of undeveloped land. And once you put something like that in there, that park's going to be slammed, packed. Even with the drop tower, the combo drop tower, the way I'm understanding it, the way I'm hearing it, that's what they're getting. It'll still be packed because when Eruption was installed, that one day, somebody at the park back then in 2003 was talking that there's over 12,000 people inside this park right now. And that was like not really opening day. It was like a week later, there was 12,000. So just imagine putting in a combo drop tower to where more guests can ride it. Just imagine that. What the park's going to look like. See, what else I was talking about it. Didn't even know my mic wasn't working back then. A little while ago. Uh, O'Connor's coming online. That's going to draw away from Frontier City, and Six Flags is not going to allow that. Then you're going to have soon the restarting of the construction of the American Heartland theme park and the RV resort. They're going to start that at the end, sometime at the end of the summer. Way I was catching on to it. On the American Heartland theme park, when I got the notice from Mansion Entertainment, they're spending $2.5 billion now because a lot of prices went up. So what they're doing is they're trying to bring the pricing down for the guests, make it more affordable for everyone. That's what the notice that I got from them was. They found some areas that they can expand, so he had to rework the drafting of the park and the RV park so that he can make it more affordable for everyone. He can add more to it, and that's what he's doing right now. If he's not already completed with it, so plus that, what is it? He said something about FEMA floodplains. I guess he found some extra spot, which is about, let's see, he said 20 acres of extra expansion land for future development for the RV park, and extra 20 acres of extra land for the theme park itself. So he did apologize to everyone. It was his fault. And then, of course, that hotel that sits at the theme park, if you can remember him saying that it was 300 rooms, well, now he can go to 400 rooms. So he said, we've got too much interest into the resort. So if they're estimating 4.5 million people to visit that resort, then that's what he's having to do. He's having to make it bigger so that I guess everyone will pay less of a price, is what he's trying to say. More affordable for everyone. I don't think those are very popular. White Monster, I don't think that's very popular of a ride. I don't know how. From what I was told, they said they put it in and it wasn't as popular as they thought it was going to be. But they can only do so much with that park because you can't. Something about you can't block the scenery in a lot of the property. That's why they can't build anything bigger out there. That's why it's out there in the middle of, basically out in the middle of nowhere. Same with Darien Lake. They're out in the middle of nowhere. And the only thing that's keeping Great Escape up and going is the indoor water park resort. And from the last Six Flags executives, basically said the north and northeast parks are your summertime parks. That's what the investors and the executives consider those are summertime parks. He said our southern parks and our western parks, we can do a lot more with them. But those former executives left the company because of Celine Basol, went over to Premier Parks, where Karen Burke is at, which used to run Frontier City and Whitewater Bay, Hurricane Harbor. So if Six Flags did I hate to say it this way, the stupid thing by getting rid of the park, then you got Premier Parks, which already knows about the same thing that Six Flags and Cedar Fair already know about all these resorts being built around in our area. They're going to have fun by installing stuff here that needs to be installed to keep the attendance up. Because if you look at the map, there's Universal Frisco, which will be opened up 2026. Ocana next spring. American Heartland Theme Park. Then we've got the Olympics coming in. We've got the skyscraper coming in. We've got the new arena coming in. We've got more hotels coming in. All that's, they're trying to get the NBA All-Star game here. Once they get all these hotels up and going, they've already announced most of that. So if they decided that they wanted to do this so-called, that everybody's talked about, sell property sell-offs, getting rid of some of these underperforming parks. Well, you do that, your attendance is going to drop. They're scratching at the bottom of the barrel, trying to just reach Disney and Universal, and it's not the guest's fault. It's the company's fault for not putting the proper rides and shows and attractions in these parks. You would lose attendance at Six Flags Over Texas. You would lose it at Frontier City. You would lose it at Worlds of Fun. You would lose it even at Six Flags St. Louis because of American Heartland Theme Park that they said will be online in the latter part of 2026. Ocana's going to draw it away, and they're trying to avoid that. Oh, that I don't know about that Ferris wheel, that family Ferris wheel. That I think they're going to replace it. I don't think they're going to put a mini Ferris wheel in there. I think they're going to. Someone said they were going to replace it with something else. Remember, we were supposed to have gotten that boat slide from Six Flags Over Texas instead of the Ferris wheel. Well, they went with the Ferris wheel instead, so they brought in the Ferris wheel. Well, they've had issues with it, so they took it out. Gunslinger. At first, I thought they were going to get ready to take it out, but apparently not. Maintenance mentioned this in the group chat that they haven't been. No one's been able to get to it because they're busy. The park has been busy. There might be a day or two that they can, but they got other things they have to do. So you got to give credit where credit is due. Maintenance is doing everything they can to get these rides back up and running. I don't know what's wrong with the Gunslinger. All I know is we thought that they were going to get ready and take it out because that ride came in from oh God, where did it come from? Arkansas. It was a relocated ride, so they had issues with it and they couldn't get it up and running, so they sent it over here to Frontier City, and then when that happened, they've had issues with it. I think the reason why they're wanting to put in a tower ride is because of the Olympics, so that the Devon Stadium, the softball stadium, when the Olympics are going to be played there, that way when you're in that area, because it's not very far from Frontier City, you can see the park. You'll be able to see it this time instead of, because I think the Ferris wheel is what, not even barely reaching 100 feet in the air. I don't know if you can see the Ferris wheel from the Devon Park. Of course, the stadium where the Olympics softball game is going to be played for the Olympics. I don't know. You may not be able to see the Ferris wheel, but if they do go ahead and put that combo tower ride in there, then you'll be able to see the park. They want everybody to see it, because when you're up and down I-35, you can't see it until you're almost there. What's the worst ride at Frontier City? Ooh, I don't know what you mean by worst. Because they just retract the Wildcat, so they're not going to RMC it. Well, they can't, because when Frontier City got the Wildcat from that Kansas park, they had to reconfigure it to fit into its spot now. Well, it wasn't just Frontier City that bought it; it was Ace Coaster Enthusiast. What I was reading, they purchased and helped relocate it over here to keep it a classic, one of Ace's classic coasters. So that it won't be RMC'd unless uh, they get, I guess, if they get the approval for it. But I don't see that ever happening. It would smoothen the ride out, that's for sure. But you don't want to take away the wooden type of coaster, such like the Judgeaway Scream in Six Flags Over Texas. It's same heights, almost the same length, and same layout, basically. I was looking on the map of the new Six Flags, and when they first brought it online, they had different parks. Like Six Flags New England was in a different city, totally different city. I don't know which one it was now. Then they had another one that was in the wrong state. Then they had another one that didn't even, they had the wrong, right city, wrong state. Then they had Frontier City correctly, but they didn't have the link to it. So it, we finally got a hold of the park and brought it up to them, and it was an IT issue. And we mentioned to them, said, if that's not fixed, you're going to have people chatting about they're fixing to get rid of certain parks and whatnot. And that's when they found out, oh no, parks are leaving the chain. I don't know where all that false information is coming in at, but it's false. So the next day they fixed it. So but I still don't know what you mean by worst ride. I don't guess I understand that question. Worst. I mean, I, I can't answer that question. What the worst ride is. I'm just hoping that they get some good rides for everything. Can the Diamondback be replaced? But I don't think the Diamondback's going to be replaced, because it's one of the last shuttle loop coasters that Arrow built. Only if, but only if they can't get the replacing parts, the parts to replace them with. That's one thing that they're having issues with, is trying to get these parts from overseas. Trying to get these parts from overseas is a nightmare. With everything going on over there, it's hard to get them over here on time. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they're going with S&S for these rides, or for this particular ride, or this ride package is what we're understanding, so that when they do have to have parts, it's only right there in Utah. It won't take long to get. It'll take a day to get here. It'd be the same way with I don't know, who is it? Of course, we don't have a B&M here. Even if we got a B&M, which I don't see that happening unless they decide, unless Richard Zimmerman says build it and put it in there, then they do have a small, I guess a small sales shop somewhere up in Ohio. So what would you name the 40 free spin coaster? Me, I would probably name it the Outlaw, or some sort of a rodeo barrel to keep it themed with Frontier City. Maybe a sheriff or something like that. The drop tower ride, if they do get that kind of ride, uh, I would I would think the park would bring the name Eruption out of retirement and rename it Eruption, just like they did with Rodeo Roundup. Dodgems is now Rodeo Roundup, or not Dodgems, Brain Drain. I think that's what they named it. Let me look. I got all my pictures here. Look and see what they named Dodgems and Rodeo Roundup, because I cannot remember. I get those two mixed up anyway. Look and see where I put it at. No, that's not it. That's not it. Where did I put it at? Hmm. Oh, it's in here. I just got to remember where I put it at. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. Do you think Frontier City will ever get a launch coaster? That's one thing that we're trying to figure out, if we're going to, what type of coaster we're going to get. If I would, if we do get a launch coaster, uh, it may be something from Premier, or not Premier, S&S, because um, Silver Dollar City's got one. And I'm not for sure if Axis, the Axis SNS Axis coaster can be, well, I guess it could be launched. I think that's a chain lift though. Outlaw, yeah, Outlaw Run. Again, I do apologize for my earlier video. I thought my voice was being heard, and it was an update for the software that it cut the mic off. I thought my mic messed up, so, but that's all right. We got it back. It may be a bit, it may be a little later, but what do you think the next ride will be? Tower ride, SNS combo tower ride, probably the same height as the one at Fiesta Texas Scream, and probably a 40 free spin coaster, because I think that's what they're doing, like we've been talking about. Uh, Waterworks may be being relocated over to Hurricane Harbor and be advertised as a new slide complex, and going to use that whole plot of land, that extra plot of land on the main property. Not, or is that not, unless they're going to leave it, put pumps in, whatever they're going to, whatever someone said, and then expand over to the 60 acres of undeveloped land. Hey, Music Lights. I started one earlier, but the mic, the software cut my mic off. So it's all good. We're back. A little late, but who cares? Yeah, nobody was typing back when I was talking, and I looked down there and I'm like, oh my God. And it took me about 15 minutes to figure it out. And I could not change the settings on it because it was grayed out. So I had to let it go through its course. It's like if you get a stomach bug, gotta let it go through its course. So I let this go through its course and went right back online. So I do apologize for that, and we're back online live. No video because I don't have a camcorder. The only camcorder I have, like I said, is my wife's laptop, and I don't want to fight with her to borrow her laptop to do this for however long. Besides that, if I did, hers would be so laggy, the video would freeze all the time. Her laptop is not designed for something like this. My desktop is. And I do know everybody gets irritated because I do the AI on the videos, but I can type it in quicker instead of having to re-record my voice and re-recorded this because I messed up on this. I put it in the wrong section. I brought up something wrong that does not fit there. I'd rather do a 5-minute video and then send it in. Yeah. Well, it's for some of the new ones that's coming online and joining. So letting them know that's the situation. Anyhow, the new rides are probably going to be a SNS combo triple tower, similar to Fiesta Texas, and my guess would be about 250 or 200 feet, unless they decide they want to go the same height as Superman Tower of Power down at Over Texas, the 300-foot one. I don't know why they want to go 300 foot unless they just want to, or they got a better deal. And as for another coaster, the probably SNS 40 free spin. I don't care about the AI. I'll just throw it in there real quick. Triple tower for Kana. Now, who knows? They may put one in there. I think somebody. I think someone told me that they're not done with it. This is just the water park, an indoor water park itself alone, for right now. They might not go with a triple. How many new coasters you think we could get in the next 5 years? How many coasters do you think we get? Oh, I don't. 3? How's that sound? Because you have to remember we've got 60 acres that we have plenty of room to expand on. There's very few parks that do have that, other than the bigger acreage size parks. That's got like 300 acres. So we've got 60 acres that we can use. But as they said that the ops manager, operations manager said we can put a $15 million coaster in over there and go from there. But they don't. But from what I was understanding with that PUD, that PUD that they've got, I think they have to bring back a couple of 100 feet of the fence line with a some sort of a private line. And I don't think, the way I was reading it and understanding it, the part up towards I-35 and Coltrane Road do not count because it's city owned. So that 60 acres can do wonders, where you're probably looking at, I don't know, 45 acres maybe total that the park can place anything over there. So long as the noise factor of these rides stay down to the whatever the minimum is. I don't know what noise is, because you got to remember, Canada's Wonderland put in was it Leviathan or Behemoth? I think it was a Leviathan, and it's set right next to a bunch of apartment complexes and homes. And when they ran it for so long, they complained about the noise level. Well, what B&M and Cedar Fair went and did was pumped in sand inside the framing and the track to quieten it down, and it made everybody happy. So it can be done. I think that's the only factor that the residential area would have for some kind of a hyper coaster or giga coaster like that being placed over there. Because if you look at that land, you can put two B&M gigas over there, massive, with no limits, and you'll have room to play with. Because years ago, when they were talking about that, I don't know who in the park mentioned it. They're not there anymore. They said they couldn't put nothing over there. Not one thing. They can only put a parking lot with a couple of buildings. That was it. Well, come to find out, after we went and asked, everybody went and asked the city about that to give us an explanation about that. They said no, they can build whatever they want to. It was that barrier, that fence, the fencing line between. Because if you look at the south part of that undeveloped land, they that's that I think it's farming. I think it's a farm or a ranch. I couldn't tell, with cattle. And then north of it is the residential area. Have you been to a lot? Have I ever been to over Texas before? Yes, a lot. Now remember, I'm born and raised in Dallas, and I moved up here in Oklahoma in '94. They could probably even. I gotta shrink in this. I can't even read it. Oh, well, I'll put it over here. Stratocoaster. Oh, like King to Kai. Yeah, they can put one in there. Over Texas is out of room. They're, well, I say out of room. They don't have enough. They can't expand. And where the Judge George Scream is at, that pond, the city of Arlington will not allow them to build anything on there. So what they're going to have to, what Over Texas is going to have to do is they're going to have to remove something and add there, or they're going to have to build up. Now, as for Fiesta, Texas, someone said that they can't build on that wall. I don't know how true that is, so I don't know. But we can build over there on that undeveloped land whatever we wanted to, as long as we keep the noise factor down and the fence barrier wall. But you do have to remember that's going to cost a lot of money, and we still don't know how much CapEx funding that Six Flags is going to release to Frontier City. We still have no clue how much that is going to be. Like I showed in the video, if they get 20 million, then yeah, we're going to see probably 3 rides, because the S&S combo rides, those are around $8 million a piece. Then you're talking about another $8 million for the 4D free spin coaster, or up to. I mean, the Iron Rattler's on the wall, and even has cave. Well, I think that's the part where you can't, they can't add where they shoot off the fireworks at. I think there's certain parts that they can't add anything onto it. Can Frontier City build a roller coaster like X2? Yes, it'll have to be over in the bone. We call it the boneyard because it's what it used to be called until they cleaned it up. Over in the expansion, undeveloped land. All the bigger rides have to go over in the undeveloped land. But if you remember last week, I showed y'all the picture of it, Excalibur from the defunct Astroworld. It was relocated up here. Now, where they were going to put it at, I have no clue. Someone mentioned that they were going to put it where it was at, where it was all laid out over there in the on the undeveloped land. But the problem with that was it was badly damaged in the relocation from Houston to here because of a Houston company that tore it up, bent the legs, the framing, the track. So everything, all the bigger rides have to be put and placed over on the undeveloped land. They can build X2 over there and put in a mine train coaster over there. They can put along with a Hyper, Giga, Stratocoaster all in one time. Because you have to remember the software will let them interact with each one of them. Excuse me. What did you make a video on the? If you did, wait, did you make a video? I made a video about it, about a mine train coaster. I didn't make a video about X2 or something else. Oh no, I didn't make one from that. From Astroworld, no, I didn't make one from that. I probably should, but I'd have to dig deep for videos and more photos, because I've only got a few photos that uh, the operator that used to operate that ride said that I can use, so long as I don't alter the photo. Which, of course, I don't alter. I give you credit for it. If somebody sends me a photo, I give them credit where credit is due. So, yeah, I think that's the part of the wall that they can't build. That's pretty. That's pretty. That's a good chunk of land. But someone said they can't place anything up there. I don't know how true that is. You'd have to ask Jeffrey Seward about that if you ever go down there. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta give me another glass of water. Okay, thanks. I'm back. Okay, but no, they're gonna have that. What in the world? Ah, there it is. How long are you gonna be streaming for? YouTube allows you to stream for up to 12 hours. So, I mean, I work late at nights, so today's my day off, so I don't have to rush to do anything. So, stream for however long we can all stay up, I guess. But I think this merger, talking about the merger now, I think it came in at the right time and on just right on time because you've got all these resorts coming online, and plus, to me, Salim Basol he couldn't understand what these theme parks needed, how to operate them correctly. So this merger it's a big deal, and I'm actually excited for it because it's not Six Flags running it. They're only dealing with the investors part. That's what everybody's finally understanding. Six Flags is going to deal with the investors. Cedar Fair is going to control the parks. What they need is what they're going to try and get: rides, shows, attractions, better food. As for the season tickets or the passes, we're all still waiting to hear what they're going to do. They may have to go up on the passes to cover the cost, but I think what they're trying to do is keep them low. Now, whether or not they're going to do one season pass for theme parks like Six Flags used to do, I still haven't heard nothing about that. The memberships, we don't know. Because they said something about room 20. Yeah, they mentioned you're not going to see anything this year. It'll begin next year. Said Frontier City was an underperforming. Well, you said it was an underperforming park, right? Well, that's what a lot of people look at. Frontier City is an underperforming park, and a couple of the other ones. So it is an underperforming park because they haven't added any rides in order to get the guests back in there. So yeah, it's kind of what you would consider an underperforming park. It's not back to where it was pre-COVID. That's what they're trying to get back up on these underperforming parks. I don't know what the attendance is. All I keep reading it from a couple of maintenance members is they're the park's been busy. Now, do you think? Do you know why they removed many good rides? Um, do I know why they removed many good rides? Well, some of them they couldn't get the parts for anymore. I do know that. They were discontinued parts and rides the same way with Eruption, just like they did with Eruption. If you can't keep it, so if they can't get whatever part they needed to get it up and running, because you'd have to have the state in there to inspect it to make sure it's going to operate correctly. So there's a lot of factors that go into why they removed it. Yeah, once they start adding stuff, yeah, the attendance will go up. But if you're not going to add anything, and all you're going to do is add a show here and there, that's not enough to drag anybody in there. I mean, you're only going to sit in there for an hour, and you're going to say now you've rode everything. It's time to leave. They don't want us to do that. They want us to go in there and stay. But you can't blame the park because some of the GMs at these parks left the company because of what Salim Basol went and did. He didn't add anything. He wasn't adding nothing to these parks. The only thing he did correctly was he says we've got to fix these parks, and that's what they went and did. That's what Frontier City has been using their uh, whatever capex that they're getting. They have to repair the infrastructure of the park. These buildings were in poor condition. Look at the Nightmare Mine building. It was rotten out. So they went and put siding all the way around it, well, not completely all the way around it. See, there's another good thing. Are they going to put a new coaster in there, indoor coaster in there? We're all hoping they will, for the Nightmare Mine building, that is. Are they going to make it to where it goes in and out of the building? I don't think so, because they're enclosing it. I mean, the entrance and the exit's still there. They said they were not going to remove that from the Nightmare Mine building. I even asked them, and they said no. They said they've got plans for the building, and that was it. That's all they said. I mean, look at the go-karts. They took them out because they put a brand new maintenance facility back there because they need it. That's what all about the Nightmare Mine building. Yeah, there's plans. I don't know. I looked at your recent video. Parentheses was listed to not getting anything this year. 14. I don't know what 14 means. What are you talking? Oh, the list that. Oh, I know what you're talking about. The list that the parks got. I I just threw in. I didn't put them in alphabetical order. I put the ones that had just received something for 2024, and then at the bottom I put them in there like that. That's all I did. It wasn't number 14 specific. It was just as I was typing, I was looking at the map. I was going in as order as I could from north to south to west type. So I wasn't putting it at the bottom of the list by any means. It was just that's the order that I went by the map. And then when I did that, I thought, okay, they're doing half the parks for 2024, which is $200 million of capex. So next year they're going up to $250 million on capex for the rest of the parks. I wanted to get that part out, but no, that 14 was not a specific number. It was just I just threw the parks in there as I was going. Wasn't anything to indicate that it was the lowest park. Some people say it's not on their uh, top priority. With the museum, the zoo, the Bricktown area, there are a lot of other things that have been drawing people. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on that they're finally seeing. Like Richard Zimmerman, he mentioned some of these properties are in major populated areas, and there's more to do outside of these parks. Why not put something in there to draw them back to the parks? Oh, and he did mention these are irreplaceable parks. You don't want to get rid of them. These parks are very irreplaceable. And we already know. I mean, Astro World, uh, Jaga Lake, which was Six Flags World of Adventure. Of course, Six Flags New Orleans had nothing to do with the company. That was a hurricane that wiped that one out. So some people say it's not on the top priority. Well, it looked like it all changed now once the merger completed. When did they put the water park in? Oh, what was it? 2000. 2012. I think it's 2012. I think. Don't get me wrong unless somebody else knows exactly what year it was, but I think it's 2012 is when they put it in there. But no one could understand why did they put it. Why they could have used that area. That used to be the old employee parking lot. They could have put something better in that area. And see, that's another thing. There's right there next to it is the old Six Flags offices. We don't know what they're using it for. Are they using it for storage or what? We don't know. They could easily get rid of it. There's an extra uh, plot of land that they can use for something even bigger. But we don't know that part. I don't even know that part. Someone said they do use those, but now that this merger went through, I'm sure that's probably going to change. I don't know if I can change that or not. Let me see if I can. Oh, yeah, I can. Ooh, let me see what's that. Let me see if I can't figure out where that photo's at. Trying to find Wild West Waterworks. When did it get installed? Nope, that's not it. Oh, this is what I wanted to show everyone. That poster announcement right here, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, shows the M&M characters on a drop tower ride at Frontier City last year and year before during Fright Fest. And that right there gave it away. Like, we're the only park that does not have a drop tower ride out of all of them. The only one that's close enough would be the Soaring Eagle. But that's not a drop tower ride, that's just a cable ride. So go back to the original image. Nope, that's not it. Waterworks was added. Yeah. See, I couldn't remember which year it was. Thanks, Music Lights. Do you think they will ever replace, ever use the place of land where tumbleweed used to be? You know, someone someone mentioned that, but they didn't really talk about it. So that it gave it away, but it didn't give away. So I don't know. The only I don't know what you'd really you could put there because you got the train tracks right there. So I don't know what you'd be able to put there unless you put something that would go over the train tracks. No, I got all the images. I just can't think of where I put them at. I've got them in separate folders because it showed what year it was supposed to open. I thought it was 2012. I just couldn't remember what year it was. It would be a really small ride that it would not be worth it. Well, I mean, they can put. I don't know what they'd want to put there. Because even if you try to put a uh, skyscraper type right there, you're still blocking the. You're still going to be blocking the train tracks. So you're at a lost cause right there. I don't know. You can probably put a something from Vekoma, some small flat ride from Vekoma. That'd be the only one you put there. But we've got enough flat rides. I mean, we don't need any more flat rides. Mm, not necessarily. I mean, if they design it, if it's if it's if it's a ride, they can design it to where it can, I don't know, go around the Ferris wheel. But I don't think they want to put anything around the Ferris wheel other than the Tin Lizzies. But then again, I mean, look what Six Flags Over Texas went and did. You know, it, it goes up underneath one of the tracks, so anything's possible. But there's not. But to me, walking around that area, it's still too small of a piece of land. It's too small land to put anything on there, other than a very small family flat ride. Let me look. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me look. Become up. I know there was a ride. I can't think of it. No, not Vekoma. Zamperla. Zamperla Discovery would work. Become a Madhouse would work. Yeah, I was looking at that. Become a Madhouse. That would work. How long have I had the channel? Oh God, I don't know, a couple of years. The YouTube channel, I've had it for what, 3 years. I just never decided not to do anything with it until here recently. I started the whole Frontier City Thrills back in 2004 website and the old discussion forums, and I've had it going ever since. Until Facebook came along. One of my administrators from the forums wanted to know if we can put it over on Facebook, make it a group. So I decided to put it over on the group. Then I said, well, everybody's got a YouTube channel, so I'll create one. And of course, no one ever went to it, and I never bothered with it until here recently. Thought, well, let me try it. Let me see what happens. I mean, I got the system to do it with, so although I don't have the camcorder, or camera, so I've had it for the YouTube channel. I've had it for 3 years, something like that. What was your favorite ride at Over Texas? Oh Lord, are you talking about as a kid, teenager, or adult? Now you're gonna have me thinking about Over Texas. Probably either the K ride, the old K ride. Uh, Mine Train was probably, I would say, it's a battle between the Runaway Mine Train or Shockwave. Now, when the original Texas Giant came on, uh, more of a teen. Yeah, it's more of a teen, but we didn't back in the '80s when I was a teenager going to Over Texas a lot. Uh, we didn't really care too much about more rides. We went out there to hang out, and ride the rides. That's what we did. Of course, they didn't have very many concerts, so back in the '80s there was a lot of concerts because we didn't have, there was no such thing as the internet. So, uh, oh God, probably the Shockwave and Mine Train. That's probably that would be my two top rides. Maybe the parachute when it was open, when it was there. Because remember, they only had the tallest roller coaster over Texas in the 80s was a Shockwave, and it was always packed, and I mean always packed back then. So until we got the flashback, and of course I rode it a couple of times, but so Gerstlauer. Oh, I thought we weren't. I didn't know Six Flags still works with Gerstlauer because of the Texas Giant incident. Daredevil dive. See, that's what I'm not for sure. Shockwaves now is kind of dead. Yeah, it is kind of dead now because they got the new Texas Giant and Titan. Right now, Titan is my number one down there. We used to get dropped off at Six Flags Over Texas back in the day. Of course, my grandfather, when he worked at, it used to be called LTV Vought, he would get season passes for all the grandkids, and I was able to get mine, and I used mine. So they dropped us off at 10 o'clock in the morning and picked us up about 10 o'clock at night. But you're talking about a different time, a different generation too. So and Tumbleweed used to be Spindletop. It was relocated up here. So as for a Daredevil dive machine, it can be uh, it can be configured to fit to where it can go over the train tracks. When do I think we can see a new roller coaster? A new coaster. Best the best guess is next year, 2025. No later than 2026, but it looks like it's going to be next year. Because they've had to hire more maintenance personnel at the park. That's another thing. When I was looking at that on the jobs, I wasn't looking for me. I was just looking to see what they were needing, and I noticed I was like maintenance. And when my daughter worked up there, she said they just hired 10 new mechanics. I thought, what? She said, yep, 10 new mechanics. I said, why would they hire 10 new mechanics for? They don't need that much. It's not that big of a park. And then I got to thinking, something's fixing to go on. Something's fixing to happen because you don't hire that many mechanics when at a theme park when something's fixing to come in. what, I don't know at that time, until she told me much later after she quit the park or put in her 2 weeks notice and left, that she operated the Ferris wheel one day, helped operate it one day anyway, and looked they looked over at the Nightmare Mine building, and there was a bunch of group of people standing there with suit and ties and dress up, nice shirts and whatnot, with folders and pens and calculators and whatnot. So that right there kind of gave it away. They're fixing to pump some rides into this park. How fast, I don't know, and what they are, I don't know. But the Nightmare Mine, my guess is they're fixing to put something on the inside of it. Hopefully, we're I'm hoping that they put a new coaster back in there to replace the original Orange Blossom Special that used to be on the outside that was brought into the building. But no, they've got to start getting stuff in here and fast, because they're gonna run if they don't, they're gonna run out of time, and the attendance at these parks are gonna plummet, and they don't want to do that. So but in that one little area, they might be able to put a custom designed family boomerang in that area. They can also put a intimate drop tower right there if they wanted to. Do you have a photo of that coaster from Astroworld? Yeah, Excalibur. I do. Let me bring it back up. Which? No, I'll just. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Nope. There it is. Oh, no, not that one. Yeah, let me resize it so that everybody can see it better. There is Excalibur. That's when it was at Astroworld. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that company destroyed that ride when they took it down. Well, in I think it was 2007, they had who was it? Some company come out and specializes in repairing repairing tracks Well, when they got out there to the boneland, boneyard, and it was laid out. That's why it was laid out when you see those pictures on YouTube. No, not YouTube, Google. Uh, they they went and inspected the framing, the track, and the railing and everything that went with the train. Went with the ride itself. Well, what they went and said that it was in bad condition. It would cost more money to repair this ride than it would be to purchase a brand new one. So that's how we got Steel Lasso from Bacoma. If if that would have not have been damaged like it was what was it, 2006, 7 when they brought it up here. 2005, I'm sorry. No, hold on. 2004 is when they brought it up here. Because I took a picture of that when it was laid out before they put it over in the boneyard itself. So it was poorly damaged when it was taken apart. The company out of Houston that did that. It was not Six Flags. I brought this up many times in a video, so just to let everyone know that is not Six Flags at fault. They were not at fault for that. It was that company out of Houston, because the guy that operated it was there when they took the ride down, because that's a mine train ride. He said when they took it down, he watched them take it down with cutting torches. He said when they did that, they strapped it down and bent the framing, bent the track, and bent the guardrails. And it was an irreplaceable ride. So yeah, if it wouldn't have cost so much money, I don't know how much they would have had to pay to get it fully repaired and back to operational again. That would have been the ride that would have probably packed the park more than Steel Lasso, because the park is in desperate need of a mine train ride. What else y'all want to chat about, or what else y'all want to see that I have? Do they do they still have it? No, they scrapped it. They scrapped this ride, and they scrapped the soda per scrap iron. Is what they did. Uh, and the Nightmare Mine coaster. Both of them are scrapped. Okay, hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Do they still have it? No, they scrapped it. Is there any POV for the Nightmare Mine? That I don't know. I've never found one. Only one I've ever found is an advertisement for it. So I'm not for sure about the Nightmare Mine. I just can't answer that one. I don't know. I've never searched. I've searched, but there's nothing for it. Concerts. That's one thing that was brought up before. I don't know if they're going to bring the concerts back or not. I don't. I think they had too many complaints about the noise because there's a house that's almost right in front of the stage, and they had to. I think they had too many complaints. Plus, they want to keep the. Oh, how am I going? How do I? How do you? I don't want to say it bad, but certain guests out of the park. That's about as good as I can say it. Some people call it these wild teenagers and wild young adults. They want to avoid from having that kind of crowd. So they decided they want to crowd control. That's what I was trying to think of. That's what they mentioned. We need crowd control so that things don't happen at this park like they did it over Georgia. I think it was over Georgia, New England, uh, Six Flags Great America. I thought there was another one. I can't remember. Six Flags America, maybe, where they were damaging cars in the parking lots, having fights all the time in the inside the parks. So they were having issues with that. And that's the biggest reason why they don't open up any of these parks later than they used to, because of those crowds like that. And Celine Basol is correct about giving them too many discounts. You get a $20 off. I don't know, $20 off of a season pass, and well, they only paid like $9-10 for a season pass then. So you got to think a lot of those factors took effect. It affected the parks. Sure, it brought up the attendance, but it's the wrong kind of attendance to me. So healthy. So there was talk about removing it. There was also talk about keeping it, but not using the area as full as they used to, only for churches and high school events. So there, that right there is another chunk of land that they can use for a good flat ride. That Zamperla Giant Discovery or a Giga Discovery, they could fit right there. So there is still room in the park itself before they start on the undeveloped land if they haven't already got it all planned out. So, oh, I've got a picture of the Nightmare Mine inside. Right. No, that's not the one. RMC Wild Moose. It would fit perfectly inside the building. They may have to redesign it. Here's the photo. Here's the last photo of the Nightmare Mine before they completely shut it down. .360 Flying Adventure. That is what I would like to see at Virtual City for sure. Looking at company rides, this one is from Intamin. I had an old camera that maintenance when I was at the park. 2005, 4 or 5. I don't remember what year it was. They were trying to get it back up and running, but the braking system wouldn't work. The electrical system was outdated. So the company was out. The company itself that made this ride was out of business, so they couldn't find the parts to get it back up and running again. So former maintenance personnel was nice enough to say, let me borrow your camera and I'll take one picture for you, and that's all I can do. So he went in there and he snapped this one picture of it, and it's the last known picture that I ever had. Before they decided to take it out and scrap it. So that was the last time you'll ever see it. Because the next day I went in and I asked him, not next day, next following weekend I went and asked. He said, nope, they're taking it out, they're going to scrap it. And right then and there I thought, oh, all right, we're going to get it replaced. But he said, there's plans, but we don't know when. So there are plans to replace these rides that have been defunct for years. They just haven't had the funding to completely do what they wanted to do, because the park itself, as we all call it, has been held together by a Band-Aid. So that's why you see all the repairs going on. all the paint jobs, all the plumbing and electrical systems being worked on, the phone lines, everything. They've had to uh, remodel and rebuild some of these stuff that's inside the park itself. Oh, and that still looks like that today. That's what one of the maintenance guys told me. That the track's not there, but the cement footers and everything that's in there is still, it's still there. They only use it for haunted houses, for the haunted house, or two two haunted houses or something like that. I don't. I think it's one, but I think it's two or one. I don't remember which. So, and we tried to ask them, and they wouldn't talk about what they were, if they're going to replace it or not. Then when you go to the park, you see the whole building being remodeled. The only track that's left that you know that's left from the old Galaxy coaster right here that you're seeing is on the outside of the building in that little opening, that little cutaway. That's the only thing left of it. So that right there tells everyone, well, if they're going to do that to the outside of the building, and they're leaving that track on the outside like that, like it's always been, what are they going to put in there? You know, are they going to put a another indoor coaster like the one that overtakes us from Premier Rides? That we don't even know. Is it going to be an RMC type of ride? Is it going to be Intamin, S&S? We don't know. But I got all kinds of old photos from when other rides were there, but it's not, they're not there. So let's see. Do you think we could get a launch coaster? There's a chance that we could get one. Uh, it would either, my guess would either be A, in the Nightmare Mine, B, somewhere over where the waterworks is sitting at, or C, probably the C is probably going to be the best guess, is over in the undeveloped land. But you still got to understand, everybody's got to understand what is the funding that Six Flags is going to give the park so that we can get these rides. Because we've got to have them desperately now. Because you can't depend on these other parks, these other bigger parks, to pick up the pace when they're going to lose the attendance because of everything else, because of the stuff that's happening down here. They're going to lose their attendance. Let's see. We need to find the budget first. Yeah. It depends on the budget what budget is Six Flags going to give us to do this? Are they going to get 20 million? Are they going to get 30 million? Are they going to get 10 million? You know, it depends on what the capital they're going to give us. I mean, a lot of people think, yeah, Frontier City makes the money, but you got to have the funding in order to do everything that everybody wants. And the quickest and easiest way to do that is put shows. Of course, shows don't last very long. A lot of people want a skyscraper, and I keep telling them you can't put a skyscraper at this park because it'll be closed a lot because of the high winds. Skyscrapers where you're sitting in those seats have chains. Well, when you're up in the air like that, you get too much wind going. You're bouncing all over the place up there. That's why Eruption was shut down a lot because it's held together. It was held together by cables. Wish we could get a coaster up. Mr. Freeze. Well, that's an $18 million coaster. That you're going back to how much we can in Six Flags and invest into the park. I like how Intamin has rides on buildings on their page. Oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, they some of them go up around the buildings and whatnot. They can do it. I mean, it costs a lot of money. I honestly don't know what all the $250 million capex is going to be used for either, other than rides. I mean, surely to God that they're not going to give us $5 million and these other parks X amount. That you wouldn't even scratch the barrel with that, to be honest with you. If we get the new rides, do you think we will start seeing more theming like how Cedar Fair did? Yes, that's what he's wanting to do. That's what Richard Zimmerman was talking about, was getting rides in here and put better theming on them. I mean, look at the Wildcat. There's no theming on it. Trees, except for at the front gate. See, Diamondback. There's no theming around it. It's just the entrance and then the ride, and that's it. There's no theming around these rides. Same way with Shockwave down at Six Flags Overtake. There's no theming. You know, Six Flags is known for the rides. Cedar Fair is known for rides with a lot of theming. I mean, wouldn't that be cool to, I don't know, go around the Silver Bullet has a little bit better theming, but not as much as I was expecting. You know, put something around it to where it looks like you're going through a an actual rope lasso on the Silver Bullet. Wouldn't that, man? That'd be cool. Not the Silver Bullet, Steel Lasso. Silver Bullet's got the tunnel, so, but they were remodeling that tunnel. Air Force One, that's one thing that everybody was talking about. RMC, you know, it's less of maintenance on those type of rides, and that's another thing they're trying to get away from. They want to do less maintenance on those rides than they have been in the past. And I think that cost $12 million. I don't remember. I think that's what the price tag was on it. So, that type of ride would have to go out in the undeveloped land. You wouldn't be able to put that inside the park itself. I don't think there's any room for it. But we still don't know what they're going to do with California's Great America either. So, I mean, what are they going to do with those rides? They're going to have to spread them out across the board. let you see this next image. Right there. That's from S&S. I think that's Gale Force. You can still theme that one as what's his name? Pecos Bill. It would be the correct theming for Frontier City or Western, an old Western theme. I know Wakana seems like it will be a man water park and resort. So, well, it, I don't know how much land they have right there because that is Indian land. So, and I don't know how much more they have to have how much more land they can spare to add some actual rides. And I don't even know if they're even gonna involve themselves into roller coasters and tower rides and whatnot. I don't know. Uh, but that's 140 acres that they own. So I mean that's a large resort. Second phase. Yeah, they've got a second phase, but I don't know what it's. I don't know what exactly what it's for. Oh, I'm back. I've been giving feedback. I probably hadn't had time to give them any feedback on that. So I don't. No one. I do know what will be taken away from a lot of the attendance is Lake Texoma. They've been adding stuff down there. A couple of my friends went down there over the weekend. Not this weekend. I don't remember. I don't remember when it was. It was a couple of weekends ago. They said they've added a couple of small resorts with hotels down there. They said it was jam packed. So, but you got to remember how big Lake Texoma itself is. I think it's 50,000 acres. That's twice the size of Disney World itself. And they said it was jam packed. And they've been adding stuff down there. So I haven't been down there in a while. Mini ride was the comments from the post. They did reply to some with the roller coaster. I'll have to look. I haven't been on Facebook, so I'll have to look. If any ride was replaced, which one would it be? Was replaced? Hmm. I don't know what ride they're going to want to replace. I gotta think of that one. Tornado, maybe? But they said that's a popular ride. None of the coasters are leaving, I know that. Oh, I don't have Instagram, so I don't get involved with all that extra stuff. Uh, as for the rides removal, they've already removed a couple. I don't know. I would save the. I don't know if I don't want. I don't know about the Ferris wheel, because sometimes that's popular, but sometimes it's you better get two people that ride that in a 3 or 4 hour time frame. So I don't know how popular the Ferris wheel actually is because I don't ever ride it anymore. I only go up there to take pictures of what's changed. That's the only time I do it. There's not a whole lot you can take out because if you start taking too much out, then we're not going to have anything else to do. Oh, the stage by the log flume. Someone said that might be a gazebo or uh, a pad to where you can stand there when the log flume comes down. You can get splashed with water. Because there is room to put a drop tower ride right there right next to that stage. But I think that's going to be for to where you can get splashed at. Because I think they're going to run the log flume uh, when it's not busy, and just continuously run it to where when it comes down off of the ramp, it'll splash down and get people wet right there. That's my guess. That's what it looks like anyway. How bad is it to say, since the Wheeler Park already has the O'Kissy Ferris wheel from the Santa Monica Pier, the Frontier City doesn't need the Ferris wheel? See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why we would need two Ferris wheels in this, basically in the damn three of them in the state, two or three of them anyway. I don't know. See, the Ferris wheel to me, every time I go there, it's not even busy. There's no one in line for it. I mean, you might get a couple, actual couple, you know, that go over there and ride it, but that's it. It's not as popular anymore to me. I'd say put a drop tower ride right there. Not a drop tower ride, because we're probably getting one for the eruption pad. I would say uh, a star flower of some sort. Because remember, Six Flags Over Texas took out the parachute ride, and that was a popular ride. And they replaced it with the skyscraper. So I don't see reason why they wouldn't take out the Ferris wheel and put something there that's more popular. I mean, really, how many people actually ride it all the time? I don't. I quit riding it. Mondale's another one. Other than, uh, I'd put something else there if it was me. That's more popular. they'd have to have a room for that. There's not a whole lot of room in that area because you'd have the train track in the way, and then the gunfighter show. Hmm. There's the old, what used to be the tumbleweed. Now it's an open plot of land. So you don't have a whole lot of room to work with. I mean, you might be able to put a Giga Discovery there, or a Giant Discovery. I guess after looking at that photo a little bit more, you can put one there. I have to zoom in. Let me look as soon as it pulls up. Ooh, no, you wouldn't be able to put much there. I don't even think you can put that there. Never mind. I looked at it. And there's not enough room. The tracks are in the way. Yeah, never mind. The tracks would be in the way. They're too close. I put more theming there if I could. I don't know. Well, anything else, guys? Well, we've been on here for over 2.5 hours. Let's see. Bring this one up. I can see it better. Could we see a spinning coaster? Yeah, we could easily see a spinning coaster, and that could easily fit inside the Nightmare Mine building too. Or if they're going to, if they're not using the plot of land that's used for the concert area, there's a big chunk of land right there. You can put just about any compact ride in that, because they don't have that sandbox there anymore. They took that out years ago, and they're not using the concert venue. The only time they use that concert venue is for churches and high school bands and cheerleaders. So I mean, and if they want to get real tricky with a ride, they can put a I don't want to go too far off with it, but uh, like a mini B&M hypercoaster, what LaRon's got, because it goes over the parking lot. They can add one there and let it go over the Diamondback and over through the back part of the back parking lot. Top spin could. I'd love to see a max spinning extreme spinner, but sadly I don't. I will love that too. That's a that's probably out of the budget. That's probably too much for the budget. Plus, Silver Dollar City has one few hours. Yeah, and they've already got theirs. Yeah, and that was not on the cheap end. I think that someone said that cost $30 million just for that ride alone. Plus all the decals and how they wanted it designed. Do you think Wildcat? No, Wildcat will never get RMC'd. Wildcat just got new trains as well, so and plus they just retracked the whole. Uh, I don't think they retract all of it. They retract the majority of the track itself. So there, there, there there's just no way they're going to RMC it. Plus, you'd have to go through ACE because they're the ones that, if I read it right, they're the ones that help bring the ride from Kansas City down to here. So it's on the Ace Coaster uh, classic list. I think that's what they call it. Think we could see a dive coaster in the future. There's a chance. It won't fit in the main park. It'll have to go over into the undeveloped land. Because that's too big. That's too big of a area to fit inside the main park. Like I said, they can reconfigure it to fit, but I don't think it won't fit in the main park itself. It'll have to go over in the undeveloped land. To me, they've talked about this is. I think RMC uh, built this. That's not what I want to do. I think we'll get a coaster like Flash Vertical Velocity at Great Adventure. Maybe. I think this is what the park's wanting to shoot for. That 15 million, because I think this cost. I think it's Energylandia cost them $12 million to fully construct and build it and purchase it altogether. I think it's Zadra. I don't remember how you pronounce that word, but Gyro Observation Tower. Yep. So they have brought this up before though about that $15 million coaster that they want to try and purchase and have it placed over on the undeveloped land. RMC. I, maybe we're not getting a 40 free spin coaster. They could repair the waterworks if that's what someone said, and have it up and running. Put a drop tower ride where the eruption pad's at, and purchase this $15 million coaster and have it themed correctly. Maybe that's what the CapEx is for. That would draw in a lot of guests. People ask, how would you get over there? Well, it's called bore up underneath the road. Make a tunnel like they did with not Shockwave, Judge Roy Scream down at Six Flags over Texas. That goes up underneath the road to Six Flags, or the parking entrance anyway. But it's longer. It's a tunnel. You make that the entrance to get over there. So I mean, there's still all kinds of room to put stuff, rides, shops, stalls, more restaurants, because we don't have enough. Dining. Springboks. Somewhere in the park, right? What do you mean Springboks? Corkscrew inversion. I don't think those are very popular anymore. I mean the one that used to that is used for eruption. Springboks. The compression housing. Springboks. Oh, they said they weren't going to mess with that. They said it was going to stay as is. All that area is staying at. They're not going to mess with it. Slingshot. Okay. No, they said they weren't going to. That all that area is going to stay. They said they had planned. Last time I physically talked to them, maintenance that is. They said they had plans to replace it, but they don't know what yet and when. But they're not tearing down that building though. They said they've got future use for it. That's all they said. Let's see. We need more thrill rides. We've got a lot. We've got thrill rides. We just need bigger and better thrill rides. What we, what we, what the park has right now, even that won't even scratch the door. It won't even. You can't even ring the doorbell if you leave the park like it is. Let me look. Where's that? had the photo, but I don't have it. It showed the compression housing for eruption, but it don't have it. It just has the pad. Zadra is a $2.6 million, and the cheapest B&M Hyper was $20 million. Yeah, Zadra was I think it was RMC as well, so it cost less to construct. So I think that's what they may be shooting for, that type of coaster. In the building. What building? Nightmare? Nightmare Mine building? Is that what you're asking? Well, if it's a Nightmare Mine building, there's one of two. Either another indoor dark coaster or an indoor dark ride. Yeah, either another indoor dark coaster or an indoor dark ride. I think they just redid one in, I want to think Vietnam. Is it Vietnam or Japan? I don't remember which one it was. Because I don't think Richard Zimmerman and the new executive team is going to let the building just sit there and be used one time. He wants to use all of it. Because if I'm not mistaken, he told the park to finish up on the infrastructure work, complete the uh, building rehabs, and from there on, I'm sure he's going to start pumping in some rides, shows, and attractions in here with better theming, and of course the diamond, uh, the better food, because that's what Cedar Fair is known for: theming and better rides. Of course, Cedar Fair goes with B&M a lot. Now, see, I have no idea if we're gonna get a B&M. The closest B&M we have is over Texas. I don't know if I got that. If I got, I think it's Goliath at Laron. I don't know if I got that one on here or not. I think I do. There it is. Oh God, I gotta shrink it down now. That's the that's the smallest hypercoaster in the chain. in the Six Flags chain, that is. The before the merger. That's Goliath, that little Rond. I think it's Goliath. Yeah, and that one there cost 18 million, but that was back in 2006. It's the smallest hypercoaster, 174 feet, and about 3,000 feet of track. So that would be a perfect fit for Frontier City. You can have that place just, oh, I'd say, because it runs right beside it, you can place that right there at the amphitheater area, and it can go over the. You'd lose parking spots, but most parks would use some of their parking spots for these rides, and go over the parking spot, park a lot, and come back over and go over the Diamondback. Oh, that would be cool. But that one would cost today $20 million. I mean, imagine if they bought that and put that in, that would pack the park. I mean, for quite a while too. But I don't know. I don't know which one. You can do Intamin. But I really think they're going to concentrate on replacing what rides they never got a chance to replace. Vekoma Tilda is also 12 million. Yeah, see, I didn't know the price tag on those. Six Flags Mexico's getting one. They already got their tracks. Some of the tracks arrived there this week, I think, this past week, or over the weekend. Magic Mountain's getting. Oh man, what they said they were getting? It's the same thing that Darien Lake's got. I think that's going to be a launch coaster though. That was from Energylandia. Zadra. The Tilt. Oh, yeah. that part was news to me. Don't watch it. Energylandia is going to wind up outdoing Magic Mountain with those coasters. See what other ones I got we could possibly get. Turn rider. What the crap did I do that for? What if we got something like fly, along with some good theme? As long as it's probably themed correctly. And there's the updated Nightmare Mine building. As you can see, the old Galaxy tracks stand. They're not replacing. They're not removing it. It's big enough to put an indoor coaster in there, plus or indoor dark ride. That way they can air condition the building, and that way when it's hot outside, people will not be in line for the log flume so much. They can go inside the building and ride the ride, and we can all cool down. Because I think that's what they're trying to do. Finish it up. But they've also gotten behind too, so at least that's what one maintenance guy said in the group chat, that they're just busy and they haven't had time to get to a lot of stuff that they've been wanting to. So that tells me that the park's staying busy, which is good. Because this merger took place, they all found out who's actually going to be running these parks, which is actually Cedar Fair executives. And they know what Cedar Fair installs in their parks and what they need. So there's a good chance that we could get a new indoor dark coaster, or C, B, or some sort of a dark ride, something like over Texas maybe. Pirates of Spelunker Cave. And there's that platform that you were talking about or asking about. Geronimo Sky's coaster is probably gone. I don't think they've taken it out just yet. I think the I think the tower's still there. I think they have to. Someone said they had to rent that, so I think they're done renting it and they're going to take it out soon. What else? I'm really looking forward to seeing if they're going to go ahead and get this Axis coaster right here. Because if you look at it real closely, it's got the same colors as Steel Lasso does on the track and on the leggings, the bracings and whatnot. Of course, the building sets up a lot higher. It, from what I saw on their website, it's like a wood type. So that only tells me one thing, that it's designed for somebody. I don't know who. So I put the logo on there just to see what it looks like, and sure enough, boom. And I matched it up with the Steel Lasso. I think that is. Yeah, that's about it for me too. Been on here for not quite 3.5 hours, but that's good enough. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off, guys. Um, I'm glad everybody showed up when I couldn't get the mic going, and I'll upload some videos sometime soon. Whether it's AI or voice, I don't know. I mean, depends. However my night goes from work, when I get off work. So, um, hopefully everybody's going to have a good night, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you all for joining in, and thanks for supporting the channel. When will my next stream be? Well, it won't be during the week, probably sometime over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. I haven't made a decision yet. Usually Mondays is when I can do it. It's kind of hard to do it on Saturday and Sundays anymore, because I got to get back out there and do some more yard work thanks to all this rain we had. So, but I'm gonna try and get it up Monday. That's about the only time I can probably do a stream for everybody. Other than that, I'm gonna end this stream, and everybody have a good night. And don't forget to join in on the next stream that we have. Oh, still says you have a premiere schedule. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to go through that and fix all that. I have no idea. I think when I clicked go live, it did something. I'll look at it when I get off. Anyhow, you guys have a good night, and everybody enjoy the rest of your week.